apparently Corrie doesn't do boundaries. Fine.
Hello and welcome back to Why Won't You Watch Corrie, the podcast where I, Emily, try to convince my sister Vic to watch Coronation Street. I only started watching in January, so I'm essentially learning 60 years of Corrie history in real time.
And somehow trying to convince me to watch it at the same time.
Exactly, it is very ambitious.
Bold, even.
Now, this week isn't about one massive moment.
Has everyone had a week off?
Absolutely not.
It's Corrie.
Exactly. This week is one of those weeks where one chapter closes.
And 4 new ones immediately begin.
Honestly, I don't think the residents of Weatherfield ever get a day off.
Nor do the scriptwriters.
So we've got lots of new stories kicking off this week.
Fresh drama.
Indeed, fresh drama.
Fresh people making terrible decisions.
Always. Plus, we're back with all the usual favourites.
The stats report.
Behind the Cobbles.
The awards.
And another completely unnecessary amount of analysis.
Yep, based on absolutely no qualifications whatsoever.
Exactly the premise of this podcast.
True.
So whether you're a Corrie superfan, Corrie curious, or just here to see if Vic finally cracks,
I won't.
you are close.
Oh no.
Let's get into it. This week on Corrie. Vic, let's get into it.
Okay.
So, you know how the last few weeks, Ice Woman 1887 has very kindly helped us with some previous Corrie knowledge.
Yep.
Well, this week she is back and she's helping us again with some Abby Webster
Excellent.
knowledge. Oh, it is excellent. It is excellent. But do you know what, Vic? I thought I'd do a little spin on this, and I thought because this is a very special week, and we've got some very exciting things to talk through in Behind the Cobbles later. I wanted to present to you Ice Woman 1887's information, Corrie history, Abby Webster biography, through the form of song. Much like the Ken Barlow song.
Right? I liked the Ken Barlow song, so...
Exactly.
Okay.
I think you're going to enjoy this too. I do appreciate that I shouldn't use AI for this. I'm not taking anyone's job because nobody's making Corrie songs. If anybody listening wants to make Corrie songs for me, for this podcast, absolutely get in touch because, do you know what? I have a guitar, I can't play it.
Yep.
I can kind of hold a tune if you want me to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me know. Let's make Corrie songs together. But for now, Vic, here you go. Lyrics by Ice Woman 1887. Tune by Internet. Are you ready?
Go for it.
Since you two don't know much about Abby Franklin, Abby started on screen in 2017 as a mother of already existing Seb Franklin. Seb was introduced as Faye, Tim's daughter's boyfriend. Abby was a drug user and relied on Seb to care for the younger girl children, twins Charlie and Lexi. Abby had an overdose in late 2017, which led to Charlie and Lexi being taken into foster care, and later Abby losing custody of them. Seb tried everything to get custody of the twins, but as he was only 16 at the time, he couldn't. Charlie and Lexi were later adopted by a family not on the streets. Abby got clean and Abby is married to the actor who placed him. The two met on the show. Also, the backstory behind David the dog. David came to own David the dog after his owner, Mrs. Moss, passed away. She was one of David's regulars at the salon. Mrs. Moss left David the dog along with 20,000 in her will.
And that is the story of Abby Franklin. Let's move on.
I do have just a slight comment.
Yeah, go on.
Some of that was quite sad and dark, and it's a very cheery song.
I know.
True.
Well, so basically, when I was requesting this to be made, I asked for the vibe I put was happy poppy musical, like Oh My God You Guys from Legally Blonde. That was that was the
Nailed it.
That was the inspiration I gave it, because I thought sometimes, Vic, when you get sad news, you just need a pop song to go with it, you know.
True.
But I particularly enjoyed your face of concern when it was like, and then he died, and it was really happy. You're just like, what?
Yeah, it was like when there was like an incident or whatever on whatever night out they were having. I was like, it's so sad and serious, but here I am bopping.
I do have one other version that's a bit slower and darker.
No.
But I thought, no. It's a Friday evening. We need cheer and joy.
Yeah. I love it.
Anyway, let's move on. Storyline 1 of the week: Abby, Elfie, and the Black Mould.
Oh yes.
Ah, yes, indeed. So, as we know from last week, so the last week ended with Elfie coughing in bed.
Yeah.
So the week opens with Elfie not being very well, Abby calling 999, need an ambulance, need to take him to hospital. Kev rocks up, the ex-husband, just learned,
Yep.
and he's like, don't wait for the ambulance, I'm going to drive you down. They rush him down to hospital. And there's a specialist doctor there who's like, something's wrong with their lungs, we're going to find out, with his lungs, we're going to find out, you know, don't worry, we've got this, you're in the right place, we're going to find out. But they couldn't quite get to the bottom of what was going on. Big Bad Baldy is in, I don't know where he is, the Rovers will say, and someone says to Big Bad Baldy, hey mate, like, why was Abby just rushing her kid down to hospital? So he then goes down to the hospital to make sure everything's okay. Because Big Bad Baldy is in his redemption era, and I'm quite liking this new...
Still.
I quite like it. I'm hoping it stays. I really hope he doesn't go back to being Big Bad Baldy, because I quite like Bad Baldy. No, not bad.
Good Baldy.
Good Baldy.
Good Baldy.
GBB, that doesn't quite have the same ring to it. And I'm pretty sure Great British Break Off's already taken that as their own acronym, so we can't have it. But we'll keep Big Bad Baldy. So he rushes down, he goes and sees him, and he's like, let me help out, I'll go to your flat and I'll get you some bits, because they have to stay in overnight. And he goes down, and when he's in there, he finds the black mould all over the flat. So he takes a picture. Now, also, at the same time, Idris is about with Brody, and they're finally making fixes to this flat after Abby obviously had a go at them last week.
Yeah.
And Idris is there doing a damp meter reading, and he also finds the black mould. Mm-hmm. Big Bad Baldy gets to the hospital first, and he's like, this is why he's sick, shoves a picture in her face, and is like, they're all like, oh my God. As they're going off to show the specialist doctor to be like, hey, I think he's sick because there's mould all over my house.
Yep.
Idris rocks up to fess up, and he was like, I know, I've only just found it. Like, I didn't want you to not know why your son was sick, so I thought I'd better come here and tell you. Which he seems to be a bit of a truth teller, Idris. I'm appreciating his desire to tell the truth.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes him good, but it makes him honest. So
he's an honest bad guy.
He's an honest bad guy. So then, obviously, they go tell the specialist. Elfie gets treated, and by the end of the week, Elfie is out of hospital. But obviously, they have to move somewhere else because of they're like, we don't want to be in the flat, or they're not in the flat because of the mould. So they move in with Kevin, her ex-husband. So, yeah, I think I don't know what's going to happen with that storyline with her moving back in there. I don't know if that's going to rekindle their relationship. I don't know if their relationship is at the point where it could possibly be rekindled. I don't know. But they're moving back in there. So then after that happened and he's out and all of that sort of stuff, Abby decides she wants to take legal action. So she says to Idris, she's like, I'm going to take legal action to you. But then she's having a conversation with Sally later and she's like, I can't afford to take legal action, so I don't know if I will. So then Sally turns around and goes, let's speak. Have you noticed, by the way, in my version of Corrie, everyone's turning around. Yeah. Everyone's standing in a place and they're just turning around. Imagine if
that seems legit.
I mean, so Adam Barlow was stood with his back, he was facing the wall, and Abby walked in, so he turned around and he spoke to her.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I'm setting the scene.
Yeah.
Sally says, let's ask Adam Barlow. Now, obviously, Adam Barlow is in a relationship with Alia. Alia is Idris's cousin. So we've got our good old classic conflict of interest here.
Yeah.
But they go and sit with him and they're like, would you do this? And he goes, so you want me to do this and you're not going to pay me any money? And they're like, no, we're not. And he's like, but also, I'm dating Alia. And they're like, yeah. So basically they're asking him to take on this case that's against his girlfriend's cousin and do it for free. And you know what, Vic? He says yes. He says, that sounds like a great deal. I'll do this because business is business, is what he says.
I mean, not wrong.
Not wrong.
But, generally businesses like to get paid.
True. But you know what? It was only a few months ago where they were complaining about having no clients and now no money, and now they're doing work pro bono. And I think, good on you.
Well,
good on you, Adam
It gets their names out there, right?
Gets their names out there. Yeah, shows that he's a nice enough guy. I don't know. I think this story's got an interesting development, but for now the kid is fine and safe and well. So,
fine.
I mean, I have experience with mould in houses and it made me unwell for a very long time. So I don't know if this is going to come back. Or whether it's we've dealt with it in his fine situation. We'll see with that one. But for now, Alfie's fine, Abby's fine, Idris is getting sued.
Yeah.
Let's move on to storyline 2 of the week.
Okay.
Because storyline 2 of the week, Vic, is Idris and Brody.
Okay.
So we can continue our conversations about Idris over here, because I'm conflicted with Idris for that reason. Because, he owns up to the truth. Great. Good for you. But he also... So this week, Idris obviously, we know he finds the damp and the mould in this house. Yeah. Idris isn't happy because he's only just taken this flat over from the previous owner. So what he does is, after he's found the black mould and after he's gone down to the hospital and declared the truth, he then gets the previous homeowner of this flat. Brody and him drive up to the precinct. Brody jumps out the car, grabs him, goes, get in, pushes him in the car, and they drive to some abandoned factory area in Weatherfield. Right. Now, it should be noted at this point that Abby did see this happen.
Okay.
Idris has words with him, gets very up in his face, and then he goes to get back in his car, leaves Brody with him, and his parting words are, imagine how you'd feel if this was happening to your sisters. So he's basically turning around to Brody being like, do what you need. Take
care of that.
Yeah. Take care of that. Exactly. And he does. And we know he does because the next time we see him, he's back at his house and he's washing his hands and he's got grease all over his hands. Don't worry, there were no camera angles this week. There was one really bizarre one, which I normally can understand where the camera angles are coming from in Corrie. But there was one this week where it actually, just looked like bad camera work, which
cool.
I mean that from a loving place. I'm not a cameraman, I can't do their job, so it probably wasn't. It probably was intentional, but as a viewer, it just came across, in my opinion, as bad camera work. But hey ho, I digress. Idris. So, whilst all that's going on, Abby has told Sally that she thinks that Idris is bad news and Brody shouldn't be working with him. Okay. So Brody's back at the house washing his hands, trying to wash off, the proof of his bad behaviour. Yeah. And Sally walks in and is like, what's going on with with Idris? Is this a good idea? And he's like, oh, it's fine. Oh, by the way, here's your rent. Because that's the other thing that's happening this week with Brody. He's just flashing the cash around because obviously he's getting paid a fair whack now because Idris is probably paying for his silence for a lot of things.
Yep.
Later on, Idris and Brody are in Sweetdale having some food. And Brody turns around and says, I'll be honest with you, mate, this isn't my sort of work. I don't want to be involved in that. I don't want to end up like my dad. Because even though Kit is his biological dad, he also has the person who he thought was his father for a long time, kind of thing. Brody says, this isn't my line of work. I don't want to do this. I don't want to end up like my dad and end up in prison. And Idris throws him a wad of cash, which Brody then pockets and continues to work for him.
Cool.
Exactly.
Perfect.
So then, later on, we see Big Bad Baldy and we see Big Bad Baldy and Idris having words on the street, obviously about the mould.
Yep.
Kit comes over and kind of breaks it up. So that's his first experience, I guess, with Idris that we've seen as a viewer. Then later on, Idris and Brody are in the pub having a pint and Kit walks in and goes over and starts speaking to Brody. And Idris goes, oh, are you having a run-in with the law, are you? And Brody goes, oh, no, this is my dad, Kit. So obviously Idris didn't realise that his dad's a copper.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things at play here with this storyline. We've got the mould situation and the being sued. We've got the getting Brody to be his little sidekick. We've got the Kit element. It's building. We've had a few weeks without it. Let's see where this one goes.
Yeah, summit's going to happen, isn't it?
Summon is going to happen, Vic. That's the name of the game when it comes to Coronation Street.
Yep.
Summon. Any more on that storyline, or shall I move on?
No, you can move right on.
Okay, Vic, we are moving on to storyline 3 of the week. Storyline 3 of the week is Cassie, Steve, and Tracy Barlow. Cassie, Tyrone's mum, Steve McDonald, Tracy Barlow.
Okay.
So, my opening line on this is, oh, Cassie.
Oh, no.
Let's see what you remember. So Steve used to be married to Tracy Barlow twice. He was married to Tracy Barlow twice. So they've got that history. They live in this really awkward household with Ken Barlow, Tracy Barlow, their kid, and him. And I don't understand how they're not all fighting, or I don't understand that.
Yep.
Cassie, remember a while ago Cassie was going to propose?
Yes.
She was the one that was going to propose to the bros and she didn't. Well, now she does. Now she did.
Okay.
She did it on Monday. It didn't go great. It did not go great.
Your voice isn't telling me that went well.
Well, so let me ask you this. There was two things that happened. Number one, when she walked in, she didn't realise Steve was on the radio because he works in the taxi firm, and he was on the radio to Tim, and he just kind of put him on mute or something, but he didn't actually turn him off, so Tim could hear everything that Cassie was saying. But also, when Tim was sat in the car, Tracy Barlow got in the car for a ride, so Tracy Barlow heard everything that was saying. And bearing in mind, Tracy Barlow is not really a fan of Cassie.
No.
And what Cassie said was this.
Oh, God.
I could be the Kate to your William, the June Carter to your Johnny Cash. I'm just a girl who's kneeling in front of a boy and asking him to love her. Marry me. How do you feel about that, Vic?
I mean, just no.
I mean, it's bordering. Right. Two things I loved. One thing I loved all the references. I loved the June Carter to Johnny Cash. Walk the Line. Oh, what a movie!
Great
Plus,
film.
also obviously, June Carter and Johnny Cash, real people too. But loved the movie. Love Notting Hill. And I'm a fan of Kate and William, so I like all three elements of the proposal. But I feel like if someone was proposing to me like that, I'm not sure I'd love it.
No. Well, you know what? She's had a really long time to think about how she was going to propose. A really long time. You would think in that time you would have been able to come up with your own words to tell the man you're asking to marry you how much you love him. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually the way he would appreciate the proposal also. But anyway, so basically she did the proposal. He was sat in his chair, his wheelie chair, so he wheeled over to her and said...
Stay away from.
No, wheeled over to her and just went, oh, like, aren't we okay as we are, kind of thing. And she then, obviously, her face drops, she goes to stand up and she pulls her back, so then she starts screaming and leaves. The whole thing was just a mess. But anyway, so she's obviously embarrassed, but later on in the evening she goes to the Rovers where he is sat. Tracy Barlow's around the corner. The second she walks in, Tracy Barlow starts applauding, says to the whole pub what has happened, like repeats the quote, which led to another couple of people talking, Summer and George talking about how Notting Hill was their favourite movie, and it was all just a bit of a mess. It's basically winding her up about it, and she goes and goes and goes and goes until eventually Cassie slaps her in the face, which was hilarious. I've not seen a soap slap yet, so that was my first soap slap, and I enjoyed it greatly. Nice. So, yeah. Then through the week, like, there's a lot of Tracy and Steve scenes together. She's just kind of, I can't quite work out if she's flirting with him or not. I can't quite work out if it's just their comfort, but there's a lot of scenes of them together. One of my favourites was she comes in and she's ranting about Daniel and Alia and stuff, and she's just ranting away, and he's obviously not paying a lot of attention, and she goes, are you even interested? And he says no. And then she says, neither am I really. I just love the honesty. It was like she kind of accepted that she was just ranting for the sake of ranting. And we've all been there.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to.
Sometimes I get bored sometimes of the amount that I'll rant about something, and then I'll be like, actually, I really don't care.
Yeah.
Why am I ranting? Just because.
Because you can.
Because you can. So yeah, so that happens. Then later in the week, Cassie is in the Chariot Hotel droning her sorrows. She's at the happy hour, and she ends up talking to a guy at the bar where she gets a little bit flirty and handsy with him, and then he makes a little dig about her being a prostitute or something.
Oh.
Yeah, or not about her, kind of about her being a prostitute. So that was purely interesting because of the next storyline, which we're going to go into. But before we do, there is one thing I'd like to add about the reason Tracy Barlow overheard the conversation was because obviously she got in the car with Steve, and it was coming through on his phone, which was up on in between the two of them. And I'm going to put this out there, but Tim really didn't try very hard to stop Tracy Barlow from hearing the conversation. So I do feel like Tim owes Cassie and Steve a bit of an apology there.
Probably.
But I will not hold it against him, because as a general rule, Tim is a bit of a legend, in my opinion. Yeah. So...
Also, I mean, Steve could have disconnected.
That is also true, but he was busy being proposed to, Vic.
Fair enough. Fine.
Exactly. Yeah. But anyway, that is storyline 3 of the week. Cassie, Steve, Tracy Barlow, Skettin' Orcs there. We're going into storyline 4, which is a continuation, which is Tyrone, Fizz, Hope and Ruby. So... Tyrone and Fizz were particularly flirty this week. It's quite nice having them on our screens. Obviously, we haven't had a lot of them, but they seem to be getting on well, being flirty. Hope and Ruby, I think at the end of last week, they were planning a surprise because Tyrone was feeling sad. Can't remember if we talked about that last week. I feel like we did. Maybe we didn't. Well, anyway, they're planning a surprise because Tyrone had been a bit sad. But we don't know what the surprise is until later in the week. And we find out, I cannot remember which day it is, and they're all out for dinner at the bistro. And this man rocks up. This man happens to be the man that Cassie had been flirting with in the bar at the hotel a few days before. This man is Tyrone's dad.
Oh.
Tyrone's biological dad. So basically, Hope and Ruby had taken it upon themselves to do a DNA test, find out who Tyrone's dad was, and then reach out to him, pretending to be Tyrone, saying how much they wanted to meet him. And then he rocked up thinking he'd been speaking to Tyrone when he'd really been speaking to the two girls. Orcs.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally awkward. Yeah. So Tyrone, in the first instance, Tyrone turns around and goes, do you know what? I don't need a dad. I've lived this long without one. See you later, kind of thing, and leaves. But then the dad approaches Cassie and basically threatens her and says, if you want that, he wants he didn't know he had a son. He wants a relationship with him, and unless Cassie helps, he'll tell her how she got pregnant. He'll tell Tyrone how she got pregnant, and I think she was a prostitute. I think we might have known this before.
Okay.
I feel like she was a prostitute. So he will tell her how she got pregnant. Tell Tyrone how Cassie got pregnant, and tell everyone how she was coming on to him in the bar a few nights before.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. Now, I do not know Cassie well enough to know how she's going to respond to this. Mm-hmm. So, later in the week, Cassie walks into the Indian and the dad, Tyrone's dad, is having dinner with Steve and Tracy Barlow in there. I don't know. I'm very, very much enjoying Tracy Barlow and her commitment to pettiness and shit stirring. I'm not sure I would love to be friends with her, but she is greatly entertaining, and I do quite enjoy it when some people are petty, as long as it doesn't involve me and I just get to hear about it. So yeah, I am enjoying that from her. So this storyline I think could be a bit of fun. And let's be honest, it's not the sister, so that's good. True. So yeah, that is where we are with Tyrone, Fizz, Hope and Ruby, Cassie, Steve and Tracy.
It's just a lot of people in that one, isn't it?
There's a lot of people in that one. Okay, Vic, any thoughts, feelings, anything you'd like to say to this point?
Honestly, there's the boundaries that people are crossing. Mental. Like, apparently Corrie doesn't do boundaries. Fine.
Oh, Vic, you just wait and I'll go on to storyline 5 of the week.
Oh, God.
Storyline 5 of the week, Vic, and we are talking about the cleaner, also known as Christy, the Undertaker's missus. The cleaner has got herself into a bit of a pickle.
Oh,
she is in a bit of a pickle. You know how she's been acting suspiciously? And we were like, is she part of the Theo situation? Well, this week particularly, she's been Monday, she was acting very, very suspiciously. And Glenda saw her, who's George's sister, works in the bar. So Glenda sees her acting suspiciously. Mm-hmm. Glenda then decides to invite her to lunch at the Rovers, or not the Rovers, sorry, at Roy's Rolls. They're at Roy's Rolls having a bit of lunch. And when Cleaner goes to the loo, Glenda goes through her bag and finds a load of credit card statements in other people's names. She tells the Undertaker, so the Undertaker decides one day to follow her when she's going out. And she does. He does. He follows her. She ends up on the precinct talking to a man. So then Undertaker goes, "Oi! Who are you talking to?" And it turns out it's her ex-husband. And the reason she's talking to her ex-husband is because she had taken out a credit card in his name, and he wasn't too happy about it.
Shocker.
Shocker. So then she sits down with the Undertaker. They have a little chat, and it turns out that the cleaner has got a spending addiction, and she thought she was over it, but it turns out she wasn't. They've been highly stressed, which obviously brought it back up to the surface. So we later see them going to a session of Overspending Anonymous. My name's Cleaner and I like to spend money.
Excellent.
So yeah, and George is there, and then they decide they've got to have a house meeting. So obviously in this house, I think we've talked about the house before, but it's the Undertaker, it's Todd, it's Cleaner, it's Glenda, and it's Mary Taylor. I don't know how Mary Taylor is in this house. I don't know where she fits in with this dynamic, but why not? So they decide to have this house meeting because it also turns out that the cleaner has taken out a credit card in Mary Taylor's name.
Not Mary Taylor.
I know. Anyway, so they have this house meeting. They sit down and it starts off quite funny because Mary Taylor's like, "Are we here to talk about the way that Todd uses the cloths again? Because he shouldn't use it like this. There's trees in the rainforest." And Todd's like, "Hey, blah, blah, blah." Like, you know, it is... whatever. They have a little argument about that, yeah. And then they're like, no, we're not here because of that. We're here because of the cleaner. The cleaner has a spending addiction. The cleaner's taken credit cards out in your name, Mary, and has spent it all. And then the cleaner's like, "I'm really sorry, but I did make sure I took out other credit cards and transferred the debt over to that, so it's not gone against your credit score." And then she's like, "Glenda, there's a credit card that's arriving today in your name." And Glenda's like, "Oh, right, okay."
Wonderful.
And yeah, and then Glenda's having a go at her, and Mary Taylor goes to speak, and Glenda's like, "Are you not mad at her?" And she's like, "Do not speak for me." And then Mary Taylor's like, you know, things happen in the world, and it looks like she's going to forgive her, and then she's like, "But I cannot. I'm not willing to accept your apology. This is not..." And then what's so funny? She goes, "I will not accept your apology. You've broken my trust." And then she was like, she turns around to Todd. She like looks over at him quickly and goes, "I want you to put that in the minutes." And Todd goes, "But I'm not taking minutes." And she goes, "Put it in the minutes!" And just yells at him. Honestly, that scene, I was just like, okay, Mary Taylor, you are yet again proving why you're a legend.
It's like, somebody get Mary Taylor a white wine. She needs to chill out.
Exactly. So, yeah, the Undertaker household is probably about to get just as awkward as the Barlow household for the next few weeks.
I mean, mental. How's nobody noticed that she's been... I mean, I guess you don't notice.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how do, like...
What's she doing with all the stuff that she's buying? Like...
I don't know, Vic. I don't
like...
know. Well, she did buy a velvet top because she thought the clickiness of the velvet top would... No, the sound of the velvet top would hide her clicky shoulder or something. And I was like, interesting. Maybe I'll get some velvet trousers to hide my clicky knees.
I don't... I'm so confused by that logic, but okay.
Don't question Corrie, please.
I will do everything and question Corrie at the same time. I will do it all.
Okay, fine. And that is storyline 5 of the week.
Okay.
And then we're just going to run through some headlines. And Vic, I'm almost tempted to see if I can... Let's see if I can read this like a newsreader for you. You ready?
I'm ready.
Breaking news. Summer and George have made up this week. Mopey Summer is back, which is not ideal. But then she goes. Betsy and Dylan were in it again this week. Betsy is spending more time with her friends and Dylan specifically because she's about to be leaving for London. Nina and Asher are having a fractious few weeks adjusting to living together in the flat. Nina was last seen in Roy's Rolls making comments about how Asher is labelling things to be tidied up within the flat. Will is still struggling this week. Hope again tries to help and Susie makes him laugh by putting a whoopee cushion on his seat. Him and Daniel have words and make up, and we will continue to see Will recovering as the weeks go on. This week the Whodunit was back. Kit's still focusing on Gary and he is taken off the case due to staff shortages, so he has now moved on to something else. Kit is not pleased. And finally, this week on our headlines, Maria pushes Gary again to find out what he's hiding. She believes that he is not having an affair, but knows that he's not telling the truth about something. Will he confess? And that is our breaking news with This Week on Coronation Street. Okay, Vic, we are moving on to the part of the show which we know and love. We are moving on to the Coronation Street Stats Report. This is the part of the show where we talk the numbers of the street, because who doesn't love a number and a bit of analysis?
I mean, a lot of people, but you know, we force it down their throats anyway.
We will continue to force it down their throats, and this week, Vic, we are starting with a 1 for Flamin'.
Okay. It's still going strong then.
We're still going strong with Flamin'. Then we're going to move on to a Don't Be Daft. I will admit this week was just a daft, and that was also a 1.
Okay.
We got 2 fancier brews, 2 meaningful stares, 8 conversations that happened in public that should have happened at home, 4 arguments and storm outs, 1 gasp, 2 moments where I yelled at the TV, "What are you doing?" 5 counts of suspicious behaviour, 1 villain energy, and Vic, drum roll please, 28 laughs this week.
Okay, 28. Still strong with the laughs.
Always strong, honestly. If you don't watch for anything else, Vic, watch for the laughs.
No, I'm alright.
Anything you'd like to add before we move on?
I would like to know when they're going to learn to not have inappropriate conversations in public.
Maybe the real question here, Vic, is why aren't you having inappropriate conversations in public?
Because I don't want to. I don't want everyone knowing my business.
Well, maybe the problem's you here, Vic, not Coronation Street. Let's think about that and let's move on. That is our Coronation Street Stats Report. Okay, Vic. We are moving on to the awards of the week. This is the part of the show where I like to give out random awards just because I can, Vic. And to be honest with you, this week, like many well-established entertainment award ceremonies through the years, our nominees for all of our key awards are particularly male-heavy this week.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we are going for Villain of the Week. We got 1 nominee, 1 winner, and that is Idris.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Minion of the Week is back again. 1 nominee, 1 winner. We've got Brody.
Yeah, had to be.
MVP of the week, most valued player. We have got 3. Daniel, Kevin, Big Bad Boldy. Daniel, because although it was only a headline, he had a really nice chat with Will and was like, are we good? We're good. Cool. So I appreciate the maturity from Daniel. Kevin, because he's proving to be supportive there he's been really supportive to Abby, even though Abby left him for who he thought at the time was his half-step brother, turned out to be his nephew, but that's another story for another day, which we already know about. Big Bad Boldy, because I'm just loving this redemption arc, and that is why Vic, winner of the MVP this week, like an absolute turn up for the books. He's gone from villain of the week to MVP of the week, Big Bad Boldy.
Good. Let's hope he doesn't, slip right back down into villainous.
Let's hope. I will be really disappointed in him. The next one, Vic, we have got a nomination, but not an award, because the jury is still out, for X of the Year. Okay. So the reason why this is in here is because at one point in the week, Abby goes, you should be nominated for X of the Year. So therefore, Kev has been nominated for X of the Year. Come back later to see if he wins an award. Come back at the end of 2026 and we will let you know.
See what we've got. Might just have the one nomination still.
Yeah. And those are our male heavy awards. Now let's move on to some more well-rounded ones. Comedy Unhinged Moment of the Week. We have got... At one point, Mary Taylor was talking about food and stuff, and she basically goes that Brian knows the importance of Mary Taylor getting her fibre regularly, otherwise she's all out of sync.
Too much information.
Number 2, Mary Taylor is talking to Daniel, saying that Daniel is the sexiest male name out there. Basically, the logic being because of Daniel Radcliffe, Daniel Craig, and Daniel Day-Lewis. And I was just like... Great. Cool. Okay. Cool. Okay. Number 3, it was the mother-in-law who they were having a conversation in the pub as to what you'd like to be buried with. The Undertaker was there, so it was relevant to his life. And they're going through, I'd like to be buried with this, like to be buried with this, and they go, oh, mother-in-law, what would you like to be buried with? And she turns around and goes, a slight look of disappointment. Excellent. And I was like, that is so her character. Yes. And number 4 was just Tracy Barlow mocking Cassie in the pub, because the whole scene was absolute gold. And as much as I would love to give it to Mary Taylor, I think from the reaction of this alone, would you agree with me that it goes to Mother-in-Law?
It's got to be.
So Mother-in-Law wins Comedy Unhinged Moment of the Week. Okay, and then we're going to move on to our Ick of the Week. We have 2 Icks of the Week this week, which is unusual, because normally we just have one. And one of them isn't even about someone trying to hit on someone else.
Okay.
So, Ick number 1 is, so Fizz calls Cassie a sexual being in front of Tyrone, who's her son, and I was just like, no one wants to hear about their parent like that.
No,
like,
gross.
So Ick 1. Ick 2 was Idris turning around to Brody and saying, you did good, Chief, because he beat someone up. Ick.
Ugh.
Gross behaviour.
Ugh.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Idris is going to win the award. Because that... No.
Gross. No.
Gross. And Vic, we've got one final award this week.
Oh, okay.
One final award is our Maria Award of the Week. Now, if you were listening 2 weeks ago, you will know that the Maria Award is the award that I like to give out when someone doesn't quite get MVP, but they've really made the week for me in terms of shows. Maria won the first week, hence why it's the Maria Award of the Week.
Yep.
And this week, the Maria Award of the Week is going to Tracy Barlow.
For all the shit stirring she's done.
Because just of all the shit-stirring, pettiness, joy, she didn't deserve MVP because she absolutely was not the most valued player to anyone on the street this week. But she entertained me greatly.
Fair. Sounds like she only served herself in that one, so I like it.
All right, Vic, we are moving on to Last Orders. Last Orders is the part of the show where we take a character from the street and we decide if we would go for a drink with them. And it's getting tougher because we're running out of characters that you know about. Luckily, there's 3 new storylines this week, so hopefully we can start using some of those characters soon. But this week, I realised, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we haven't had the cleaner yet.
Oh, no, I don't think we have.
So this week, Vic, we are doing, hold on to your purses, we are doing Last Orders with the cleaners.
She's paying.
Well, Mary Taylor's probably paying.
Yeah, true.
All right, thoughts, feelings on the cleaner from everything I've told you. Not just this week. Let's go prior.
I mean, I don't think I've ever really had an issue with her. She's kind of... I never really thought she was a murderer, so she never raised alarm bells there.
She's obviously also part of the Debster gang. She's one of the girlies in that gang.
Yeah. She did good funds there, where they did that weird vacation in a hotel room.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, she seems like a solid, what we thought was pretty solid person.
Well, that's
just a few
the thing.
issues.
Up until this week, she's been entertaining. She's been relatively stable and logical, and she's obviously been a great friend to Debster. She was the rational person with the whole summer scenario, and I think that even though she was the one that gave George the advice to go and tell the police, that was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But I think, personally, I've liked the cleaner, and then this week she curveballed it.
I mean, she's not stolen our credit cards and our details, so...
True.
You know.
So as long as we don't, keep hold of everything, don't give her our home addresses, or salaries, or whatever else it is you need to be able to set up a credit card in someone's name.
Keep all of that information to ourselves. We should be fine.
Keep your confidentials confidential.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I think she'd be quite fun in the pub. I think she'd enjoy a glass of wine or two. I think she'd have a good giggle.
Yeah.
I think she'd also have a good gossip. I think she would be... And I think she'd stay for a few. I think you're having a good night.
Yeah.
I'm not
agree.
sure I'd want to be her best mate, but I think for like a good night out, I think the cleaners... I think you're in for a win, personally.
Yeah. I agree.
So-
She seems fine.
Let's go through the ratings.
Yeah.
Small talk ability.
Scored pretty good. She's done it enough. I think
she's probably so good at small talk. You probably more have to be like, oh my god, shut up for a second. I think she's quite a good little witterer. I think. Let's give her a 5.
Yeah.
The conversation ain't dying. Drama risk.
I mean, before I would probably said not so much, but maybe it might be.
Maybe
I think
5, 4.
Yeah.
Oh, a 4.
I think maybe a 4. I feel like she's not quite a 5 level.
Yeah, I think you're right. She's not. Yeah, I think you're right. Let's go 4. Gossip value. I think she'll gossip.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what she's got gossip, but I think if she does, she'll certainly be little secret squirrels in the corner.
Yeah.
Should we go 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Vibe check. Again,
I mean, I think she's got good vibes.
Yeah, I mean, except for the fact that she's a thief.
Well, like we say, hold on to your confidentials. You'll be fine.
You'll be fine. And also, she's gone to spend awareness, alcohol anonymous, or Spend Anonymous. So she's working. She's what's the first step of getting better? Honesty, apologising to people. No. I don't know what the 12 steps are, but I feel like she's on them.
Yeah. The question is, what would throw a whole spanner in the works here is, would she be allowed to come spend money?
Oh, because when you're an alcoholic, you're not allowed to drink at all anymore. So she's never allowed to spend money again. How does that work?
Maybe she's like not allowed to spend money on. I don't know.
I don't know how this works.
No.
We're gonna have to do some little research on this, Vic.
We might have to.
Okay, so vibe check. Should we go a 4?
Go a 4. Yeah.
Go a 4. Second point probability. I know my answer, but what's yours?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. Definitely. I think... let's get exit plan needed, and then let's see if we're going to make it to last orders. I'm saying no for an exit plan.
No, unless she's openly stealing your cards.
Yeah. I think for me, by point 3, I think I'd just be volunteering to buy her drinks anyway, so...
No, she's buying drinks. She's got all the credit cards.
She's buying drinks. And Vic, are we staying to last orders?
If we can make it that long.
If we can make it that long, ding, 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 last orders with the cleaner. Okay, Vic, we are moving on to On the Cobbles. This is the part of the show where our listeners can play along and join us in a little bit of quiz. Are you ready?
Go for it.
Go for it. We have got question number 1. What is the name of the police detective who was revealed to be connected to Bernie Winter's past? And let me know if you need an A, B, C or D.
Yes, please.
A. Craig Tinker, B. Kit Green, C. Neil Clifton, or D. Rob Donovan?
I mean, the only one I know there I think is Kit. So I'll go him, but I don't think it's not right.
It is B. Kit Green, who has turned out to be Bernie Winter's son.
Different. Is that the same Kit that's on the show now?
It is the same Kit that's on the
fine.
show now. Yeah. So not only, yeah, that's right. Number 2, what business does Carla Connor currently own and run?
She's the underworld.
She is the underworld. You are correct.
Sure, it's got a proper name.
Question 3. Let's see if you get this one. Who is Sam Blakeman's father? Is it A. David Platt, B. Daniel Osborne, C. Nick Tilsley, or D. Adam Barlow?
Who? Samuel who? Is that Harry Potter?
Sam Blakeman.
Is that Harry Potter?
I'm not giving you clues. You just need to answer the question.
Daniel?
Sam Blakeman is in fact Harry Potter,
Okay.
so the answer is C. Nick Tilsley.
Yeah, fine. I forgot who his dad was, it's fine.
Which character is Kevin Webster's younger sister? A. Debbie Webster, B. Abby Franklin, C. Sally Metcalf, or D. Cassie Plummer?
I'm just going to go for the other Webster on the show.
You are correct. Debbie Webster, the Debster.
I was like, is this a trick question? I don't...
No, it wasn't.
Okay, fine.
And next question. What is the name of Tyrone and Fizz's eldest daughter? Is it A. Ruby, B. Hope, C. Lily, or D. Bethany?
I want to say Hope, but let's go Hope.
You are correct. It is Hope. Vic, I'm not going to lie, out of that really, really easy quiz, you got 2 out of 5, which I'm happy with. I'm proud of you for
I'm
that.
okay with that. I'm not okay with you saying it's a really, really easy quiz.
I mean, I had 5 other questions which were much, much harder. If we were playing Trivial Pursuit, they'd be on the red side.
I don't like
And-
that side.
No,
I don't say
and-
those ones.
No. So I thought I'd give you a fighting chance. Okay, Vic, we are moving on to Behind the Cobbles.
I
And
seemed
Vic,
quite excited for this earlier and I'm a bit
I'm
worried.
super excited for this. Obviously, at the start of the episode, I did a bit of singing for you. I gave you a song with the lyrics from Ice Woman 1887.
Yep.
And the reason for this, Vic, because we've asked in the past, and today I've done my research, and I have found out that in 2012, there was the Coronation Street musical, which was released. And do you want to know what that musical was called, Vic?
Coronation Street, a musical?
Although that would have been a fantastic name, it was in fact called The Street of Dreams.
Oh, God. Okay.
So The Street of Dreams was a musical based on Coronation Street that opened to mixed reviews on the 9th of May 2012 in Manchester Arena. And the funny thing about this, Vic, is it closed after 2 shows.
Shocking.
Yeah. So basically, ITV called the production Corrie Meets Moulin Rouge. It featured some of Coronation Street's cast members. The production was 3 years in the planning, and it was based on and this is something that we will talk about in Behind the Cobbles at some point, but it won't be today. It was based on an album, Coronation Street, Rogues, Angels, Heroes and Fools, which was written by Trisha Ward, the composer and lyricist, and released on the 29th of November 2010, Vic. There is a Coronation Street album out there. How do you feel about that? Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I think, you know how when like Taylor Swift and Harry Styles release new music and they do a listening party?
Yes.
Thoughts?
No. No,
Let's do a Coronation Street Rogues, Angels, Heroes and Fools listening party. If any of our listeners, or I might put this snippet on social media, so if anyone's watching this and is interested in a Coronation Street album listening party, let me know and I will set something up.
Oh,
And Vic, you have to be
gosh.
there.
I'm not okay with it, but okay.
Okay. So Vic, The production was formally announced with a 1-minute video launched on YouTube on the 7th of December 2011, which featured the narrator and the main star, Paul O'Grady, as the milkman as he's delivering milk through the street, and like various stars are in it. Now, Vic, I have found that trailer.
Oh, God.
Would you like to watch it?
I kind of actually would. I think it'd be fucking hilarious.
Okay, let's press play.
Something's not right around here this morning. Looks like the yellow brick road.
Is it too late to show you?
No, this isn't right.
Didn't know what to buy you.
It's a star. No, this is definitely not happening. Elsie, Tanner.
Oh, it's you. Hey, Rob.
They don't make them like that anymore, folks.
Hey, Elsie. Just about ready for the knacker yard.
I know how it feels.
I feel like I'm trapped in a musical.
Morning, Paul.
Morning, Can. Please tell me you're not going to burst into song.
Oh, there's not a lot to think about them.
Come on through. Have I got a story to tell you?
Oh, thanks, Beth. I feel like I'm in a dream.
It's a street full of them.
Vic, how did that make you feel?
I just don't
Loved
know what
it?
I've just watched. No.
I mean, let's be honest, Vic. You and I, we're a musical family. We love a musical.
Yeah.
Do you think, if that was still going, I could convince you to watch Corrie the musical?
No.
But Vic, singing, dancing, drama, cobbles.
I don't think
What
you and
could
I were
possibly
watching the
go
same
wrong?
trailer. What was the bit where he was like, oh, a star? And it panned to the sky.
Yeah.
A star. There was no context to that star.
Vic, it gave you a bit of surprise. You weren't expecting him to do that.
I wasn't expecting him to do any of that.
Anyway, so that was planned. It opened, tickets went on sale. There was just drama from the get-go. The original opening date got pushed back by, I think, 6 months, I read. There was just trouble from the get-go, and then, as I said, it opened for 2 days and then it closed. There was a couple of cast members who claimed that they were never paid from it. I think they ended up suing the production company. The production companies that were involved went bust. Honestly, there's so much drama off the back of this. Now, actually, this is what the show is about, and it does sound interesting to me. So, the narrative of the show is presented by O'Grady, who took the audience through 50 years of the programme's storylines by the medium of song and dance, presented by a 36-strong cast. And this is what we've talked about needing to learn Corrie, right?
Yeah.
So I'm all for that. The show featured a live orchestra on the rooftops of the 80-foot wide streets, set with a large screen above that was showing the original television footage of the storylines being presented. Kate Kavanagh didn't appear in her role of Julie Carp, but instead as the Angel of Death, who informed Paul and the audience of the various demises being suffered by the characters and the progression of their lives. Famous glimpses from the past include Jack and Vera Duckworth and the Vince St. Clair story, and Stan and Hilda Ogden's second honeymoon, with the lines, "What does that lipstick taste of?" and "Woman, Stanley, woman," set to music. I don't know what any of that means.
Nope.
But if we'd seen the musical, maybe we'd know.
Probably not.
The production garnered mixed reviews. The Guardian said that the show juggled poignancy and brass hit and often miss, while praising the wonderful dialogue and nostalgic gold in the old phrases like Chucky Egg and fur coat with no knickers, but did state that it was in danger of becoming just another vehicle for Paul O'Grady. What on stage said, "Too many cooks spoil the hot pot," so this ambitious musical ends up being a bit of a mess, and opened that Paul O'Grady is a fantastic live performer, and to begin with he is engaging and knows how to work an audience, but once in character he often has to hang around doing musical numbers, chipping in bits of dialogue. Soon it starts to become irritating as it almost slows the narrative down. His scenes with Kavanagh are toe-curlingly bad, with an incredible dated humour and needs cutting.
Oh.
Yeah. They also criticised the short time allowed on stage to the main advertised stars, such as Gideon and Kennedy, and Russell Watson's surprise appearance with a song named Ghost Take My Hand at the end was so cheesy that you think you're watching Eurovision, and not in a good way. They concluded, sadly, Street of Dreams is in the wrong venue, too vast, and due to poor sight lines, fails to give you any sense of connection. The show itself is overlong, the songs in the main are unmemorable, and despite the gallant effort of many performers and a brilliant ensemble, it's boring.
Well, yeah.
So sadly, it did shut down. So by September, O'Grady's management company, BM Creative Limited, had begun legal proceedings against Reckless Entertainment in a bid to have them wound up through a court order. 2 months later, however, before the action could take effect, both Reckless and Street of Dreams Limited were put into administration due to financial difficulties, with £97,000 owing to HSBC and an undisclosed amount to ITV PLC.
Oh, whoopsies.
Whoopsies indeed.
Oh.
Thoughts, feelings on that behind the cobbles? Do you see why I was so joyful now at the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I actually thought you were going to say they did like a musical episode, and I'm kind of surprised they haven't. And 2012 was like key for musical episodes. I feel like everyone was doing it. I didn't expect you to say they did a musical.
I mean, hey, I don't think this one would have been shit. I think it probably just needed some tweaks and some refinement, personally.
3 years of planning, and they couldn't get it right, and they did 2 shows.
Vic, who made you the musical police, please?
Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Oh yeah, all right. What I would like to know, if there is anybody watching, listening, who saw the Coronation Street musical.
Oh my god,
because
yes.
I would genuinely like to hear from a human, I'd like to know from someone that's not a critic, what was it any good? Was it actually terrible? Like, tell me more, because I am so sad that I can't see this. Or is there a recording of it somewhere?
I mean, when was the last time you went to the theatre?
Yeah, right. Fair enough.
I'm pretty sure you're
that. Yeah, you're categorically not allowed to record. Yeah, so if anyone listening has seen it, please let us know, because I am curious. Was it any good?
You're very lucky to have seen the show that ran for 2 days.
Okay, Vic, we are moving on. We're moving on to the final part of the show. This is the part of the show where we get to hear from you. We get to hear where you are on the conversion scale. Thus far, we have had a Behind the Cobbles musical. We've had a Corrie on the Cobbles quiz. Mm-hmm. We've had new storylines, new characters. We've had the usual We've had the usual stats. We've had some awards. What are your thoughts? Tell me. Are you watching Corrie this week?
Still no.
Oh man. Okay, well at least I know you're not a 10 today.
Not a 10. I did enjoy hearing about the musical. You said it. We're a musical family. We love musicals. I still would never see it, and I wouldn't be paying money to go see it. But you know, I'm still a bit baffled how they planned for 3 years and only ran for two shows. But
I love that.
You know, it's fine. The stories this week, there was a lot going on. There was lots of new things happening. Did they entice me in more than the previous stories? Gonna have to say no. No.
So the stories were the letdown this week.
I mean, the stories are always the letdown. I love chatting to you.
Well, thanks.
I love chatting to you. We make a great show, but
imagine how much more we could chat if you're watching Corrie as well.
We already chat quite a lot. So with that in mind, I gave you quite a big jump last week. So this week I am going to stick at a 5. Staying where I am. Purely
I'm noticing a trend here, but you continue.
No. I think that the storylines they're growing, they're developing. They haven't quite hooked me yet. They're coming, but I need something more. Like, the murder was the lead up to it was good. The catching the killer, it's been a bit slow, but we now know, so I'm fine with that. Like the Harry Potter storyline, I love a good bit of a medical drama, so that hooked me in.
Yes.
Teacher, again, it's like true crime. Love a bit of true crime.
Okay.
So the stories that are developing, they might get there, but they're early stages.
Yeah, you want some crime.
I like a true crime. I love a bit of a true crime documentary.
Yeah, that's very cliche, Vic.
No,
middle-aged woman.
You know what? I'm okay with it. Love a true crime. Love a medical drama.
And if you love Coronation Street as well, then you're completing the middle-aged woman package.
Yeah, I don't want to be the middle-aged package. I'm okay with holding on to my youth somehow.
Okay. All right. I am not overly surprised that you've stuck at a 5 this week, if I'm being honest. But that will not dishearten me. We will be back next week. We have, I don't even know how many more weeks till September, where I'm trying to get you up to a 10, getting you watching before September. That is the plan. Get you watching before September, before we are taking some time off, and then we'll be back to expand the conversion project, the Corrie Conversion Project. Because at that point, Vic, you're going to be watching and on par with me and realise how awesome the show is, and we're going to want to expand it to the masses, and we're going to want to get as many people watching Coronation Street as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love your optimism. Yeah.
Oh, gotta be optimistic, Vic. And that's it for this week. I'm Emily.
And I'm Vic.
And this is Why Won't You Watch Corrie? If you like what you've heard this week, why not follow us along on social media? We are on at Why Won't You Watch on TikTok and Insta. You will see us on X and Threads, but I'm never really on there, to be honest with you. We also have email, whywon'tyouvwatch@gmail.com. Please feel free to send us an email. I love getting posts. I love hearing from people if you've got any tidbits. If you want to send us some questions for On the Cobbles, that would be great. If you've got any behind the Cobbles fun facts, that would also be great, because I'm struggling with Google, so I'd love some input from people. If you work on Corrie and you want to just tell us, the behind the scenes gossip, let me know.
Definitely here for that.
Yeah. But anyway, for now, that's a wrap. Time for ice cream.
Done.